when joy enters the shadow. Let's talk about it. In Jungian psychology, he refers to the shadow. The shadow is a part of us that we have suppressed or denied. These things are not always negative. This also emphasizes why shadow work and looking into your own personal shadow, the things that you've repressed or denied, is such a deeply personal process. It is unique to each person because we all have different experiences, we've all learned different things, we've all picked up different habits about what parts of ourselves that we allow to be seen or allow to be expressed or to allow to just be in our own acceptance of them. So when joy enters the shadow, something I'm seeing for a lot of people is that we have lost our audacity to share our joy and to show our joy and to express our joy. I think this comes up a lot, in relation to systemic and personal experiences, or systemic narcissism and also experiences with personal relations. People that don't want to see you happy. And if they see you happy, they'll try to shut it down. So to me, it's fascinating that joy actually becomes this part of ourselves that we suppress, that we deny, that we say, oh, you don't get to be here because if I show my joy, I will be in danger. I just want to bring this to our attention. And also, as I bring that to our attention, I want to say that I think that it's time for us to accept joy again as a part of our potential reality. Have you ever just had like a moment in life where you're moving about and you feel joy and you feel this exuberance and this vibrancy coming from, maybe some music in your environment and like the hustle and the bustle of the people and just people, conversing and interacting, and you just feel that type of like joy, that liveliness. Like, let's create more of that. Let's accept our joy. Let's, do the work that it takes to get to a place where we can live more in our joy, that we can show our joy, that we can share joy, and not condemn each other for the joy that wants to bubble up and wants to arise and wants to be expressed and shared. We gotta look at it. And it's, again, it's so fascinating to me that at times our joy becomes a part of our shadow, part of ourselves that we push down and push aside. There was a time, maybe a few months ago, I was having like a conversation with myself in the mirror, and I was just observing the sadness that I saw in my own eyes. And I realized that it wasn't a sadness that came from, just people being, mishandling me, but it was a sadness that came from me allowing myself and allowing other people to push down my joy and to say, you can't be joyful, you can't show your smile, you can't show, this part of you. And the more I have opened my heart to allow my joy to come through, the more I can accept my joy as a part of my life, as a part of my being, as a part of a part of me that I love to share and that I value in the sharing of that part. So yeah. And the last thought I'll share is like, don't get confused about this one thing. The anger, the sadness, the fear, all of these things are steps. All of these things are steps in the journey. They all do lead to a more integrated experience of the self, a more joyful experience, and also an experience where you're not so afraid of those feelings. You know, every element, every ounce of excavation that you can do within your own soul, that means, you know, digging it up and looking at it, like, it doesn't matter if it's scary and terrifying. That work is still so important. And, you know, as you unearth these things, as you look at them, as you acknowledge them, they become less scary. That is the beauty of shadow work. Again, the shadow being a part that we deny and we repress, a part of ourselves. So it's not like our shadow is not ourselves, but it's the process of rejecting something that is yourself, you know, or is an element of ourselves, because we are so multifaceted, we are so multidimensional. We have the capacity to feel so many feelings and sentiments at once. We can be so happy and so sad at the same time, you know? So it's like learning to hold the multiplicity of yourself with love and care and respect. And also awe. Like, I feel there's this awe that comes from me about realizing, like, oh, you know, I can be joyful and I can also be, you know, melancholic and sorrowful and angry. They're all gifts. All of those things are gifts, you know. We can talk more about this if you want.